And we're live.
I was determined not to ruin it that time. All right. But I wanted to say,
yeah.
There is some amazing, I guess, stabilization on that camera. Because for a split second, I thought we were starting to experience an earthquake. Seeing that tripod go, blah, 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 blah. I guess it was just a really big truck, but I was watching the screen up there, and I couldn't see any.
Yeah, that's a good thing about using a camcorder instead of a 35 DLSR camera, because I don't think it'll have the same sort of stabilization. Yeah, this top floor, because we moved up on the top floor, so yeah, we do shake a little bit more.
We haven't had an earthquake yet, but man, let's do this. But when we do, it's just gonna be like
it'll be fun. We'll be caught under a bunch of board games. That should be good. That'll make good.
We would be caught.
Yeah, that'll make up a good video. These shelves are pretty much screwed to the wall, so we'll be fine.
Oh, good. All right, yeah.
All right. So how's everybody doing? So I've seen some stuff every time I catch when I'm scrolling and I catch one of your things like, oh, those look delicious snack bars. Oh wait, no, because it's doing miniatures.
That's funny. Like one of the people at work who also scrolls my Instagram, like the time I first did some bases, their first thought was, why is Chris posting pictures of these burned, sad-looking cookies? Because the bases were they were round, and for those not initiated in the art of miniature wargame, I can see how like a round, brownish thing. Your first thought is cookie. No, they're bases. Yeah,
right. Yes, and you decorate them so sparsely. I thouot you'd put more sprinkles.
Sprinkles. There are like literally 5 sprinkles on that little wafer. What? Oh no, it's Chris's 2mm scale Numidians. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. Like it's. I said before, it's mental, but for some reason, with limited hobby time, I get much more, I guess, satisfaction out of finishing my 2 hours of night and going, well, that's 5 units done, or that's like a quarter of the army done, rather than going, painted that leg of that 32mm.
Yeah.
And like, so it's, I feel bad. I said this was going to be a year of blackout. I've not gone back to painting anything blackout, but yeah, like, I don't know, just done. These are now done.
Right.
Feels better than
in progress.
Yes.
And night after night. Yeah. No, I can definitely understand it. Yeah. With the hardware models, I just put just a base of contrast on everything just to give it a color, just so we could use them right away. And that it was very satisfying. I can go back now and, the one I'm going to play, pick out some details, put some dirt on the treads and everything. But yeah, just because you get that detail right away, from the model once they're...
My finger wag was not any kind of admonition. It was... I wanted to ask you how you primed those hardware models, because hard war models, not hardware, hard war,
right.
Because I haven't had a chance to prime them yet. Some of the African Federation, especially that big wheeled thing, I think I'm going to prime it in parts, because so many like parts of the wheels go under the body, and I want to make sure I'm able to paint anything. How did you prime them? Just a spray of white or gray? Or
Yeah. I just did them straight. I did like an off-white because I thought, because I wanted the not have to do too much work with the base color. So I did some sand on the base, glued them onto the bases, and then just primed them. I had to do the turrets separate because I magnetized the turrets. But I didn't separate the walkers. I just did all one piece, like single pose, because they're not especially the walkers for the syndicate. They're pretty chunky and small, and there's no weapons options. It's only one. Yeah, there's only one choice.
Because I magnetized all the turrets for the African version, like the tanks, whatever they were called, so that they all kind of rotate. And I was looking at the walk, I think it's like the Ifrit, where it's like, I could magnetize the top part where this thing rotates, and I'm like, should I? I'm like, no, I think I'm just going to glue it all together. I haven't glued together the big walker. I'll probably do that as one piece. But then, like I said, some of their wheeled vehicles, I want to make sure I'm able to get like the top of the wheel, because it definitely looks like a tire in black.
Right.
So anyway, after that long spiel, maybe I'll be able to prime them this weekend.
Oh, cool.
I hope. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and we got an oval base. Yeah.
Now I've got an oval base. First I'm doing an oval base for that big walker thing.
Yeah. So that'll be good. And I think that's it. Then I've made a template now for for the flight bases, for every size of base that they have in the
cool.
forces. So
the tanks I have for the African Federation are actually hover.
Oh yeah. So what I did with the Martian ones is I just put one of those magnets underneath. So, because I was like
So
trying
that
to
they
figure,
repel and they actually float?
yeah, I will. That would be awesome. But
They
yeah,
would
so,
just fly off.
so just they're off enough, and you can't really see anything underneath them, because they don't have any
Oh yeah,
wheels
look
or
at
anything.
that.
Yeah,
Cool,
yeah.
cool.
So it's just one of those standard kind of. I think they're like 3 millimeters tall or whatever.
Yep,
Those for the 5x3 mil.
Oh wow, and it just
Magnets.
the whole thing just rotates.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. So they're kind of light and wobbly, and just a
Oh, so
a sheet
you
magnet
stuck another
underneath.
magnet in there.
Mhm.
All right, I will do the same thing then.
Yeah, because it has a nice floaty look.
It does.
Yeah, and it doesn't because the other stuff I was looking at, they would have been kind of way off the ground and like a piece of acrylic or something.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, that doesn't really work. But they're kind of that'd be great if I could have gotten magnets that just barely repelled each other.
Right, yeah.
Had it floating, but it just during the game they just would have like flopped.
Yeah,
off to
everything
the
would just shift
side.
over. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing with like a maglev. Like you actually have to build a little containment thing. Anyway,
Right.
cool. All right, I'll do the same thing then. Because I was thinking just like a little short dowel, enough where like it looks like it's off the ground, but you don't see it.
Yeah, and I was happy too with the flight stands. You can print the flight. They give you a curve, but it's like, am I going to buy transparent resin just to do that? And so I just had some pieces of old spruce from like Gundam stands that are just clear acrylic or clear plastic. Cool. So like, and then you can put them at any height. So the bigger ones I put like taller. So yeah, they'll look nice.
I saw on Facebook some kind of like historic game where they're obviously doing some kind of like dogfight simulation. I swear the rods they had these plans on were literally like a meter tall. And I just looked and I went, why?
Right.
Why?
Right. Yeah, I think with a lot of that when there's altitude, because that's what in the GW one, you altitude just on a clickable base. You just have a number and a base. But it would be silly, but to do sections where it's like, okay, I'm at 300 or 3,000 meters and I'm putting up actually to that height. So visually you could see, oh yeah, they're right on my same level.
Yeah, but this was just like, okay, I'm gonna move my miniature, just like that was as bad as those stupid Titans. Yep. Anyway, all right, don't get me started on that. So, hey, chat.
Right. Yeah, how is everybody doing? Yeah, good to see everybody. Glarion and Matt, nice. So, so we missed our Star Frontiers this week, but we will get back to, and apologies. So people have been putting some notes. I haven't been keeping up with playlists and stuff for the actual play. So people want to, like the numbering, because we had kind of a downtime session, so there was no role play and there was a couple players missing.
Sorry, there was no role play, so you just sitting there rolling dice.
Yeah, we were just kind of figuring out what we wanted, how decisions they were going to make to kind of like progress into the next module.
You mean you actually discussed what you as a group wanted? Right. Blasphemy. The GM is simply supposed to make an executive decision.
Right. Force you along at gunpoint. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, so I got to just renumber everything and get it to make more sense, and do like a one big playlist of all the old school essential stuff, and then maybe break the modules down too if somebody just wants to see. Right. So I think that's some of the attraction when people see the title of an old module, they want to see how that's going to be played, and especially with the modern OSR rules. So we'll see. Yes, so
they're all the same thing.
We'll get back to that. Yeah, we'll get back to that tomorrow.
Cool.
But let's get started for this week so we don't run out of time. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Epic Warpath gets 2 new factions at retail. CMON returns, but probably not to crowdfunding. Okay. Free League expands their licensing, and Fomoria RPG by some good creators.
I've heard about half of these. Okay, cool.
All right. So first, let's talk about the Veer-Myn and Veer-Myn and the Marauders coming to Epic Warpath. So basically, the Ratkin and Orcs are making their way as actual plastic and resin kits for retail for Epic Warpath. They were unlocked during the campaign, and hopefully we're going to be getting them as printable, as STLs. But for now, we've got retail, so you can add those 2 armies to the and it's nice because it's like Warpath, it's not infinitely expanding. It's a kind of a known quantity. We know the factions that are going to be in there, how they're going to play, and they may have some rules balancing or FAQs, but I like the fact that Epic Warpath is not this like, and then second edition coming out next year is going to mean all of these models are trash and we have to,
because Epic Warpath is based on Mantic's
Firefight, Warpath
Yes.
universe. Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. Okay. I knew it was something. I'm not as into Mantic as I to know what it was, right? But I knew they were like, this is the smaller scale, larger battle version of their Firefight.
Right. Yeah, they did. Yeah, the 10mm Epic version of their sci-fi setting. They're competition for 40K.
I mean, oh no, I don't know, but what I mean is like they had established factions, they had an established universe, so it wasn't like they were completely. But it doesn't matter. So they weren't making up new factions for this game. It was like, nope, we are scaling down and embiggening.
Right, that's the battlefield. Yeah, so I think the only thing that's new that we haven't seen before, because they couldn't quite do it in 28mm, are the Titans, like their giant scale stuff. Yeah.
Sorry.
So the I think it's on 80mm bases or whatever. So the big stuff, those are original, and we haven't seen those before in the setting. Maybe they were mentioned in some fiction or something, but yeah. So we got the Orc Commandos, heavy weapons brawlers, all this kind of good stuff. Maw beasts. Marauder mules and hammer assault tanks. Yeah, the orcs guy have tanks, like their own kind of so the orcs are a little bit more legit in Warpath. They're not. It's the vermin. It's the ratkin that are the ones that scavenge and like repurpose other people's stuff.
I was like, what do you mean? I think just like crumping each other and so you see who's the biggest for whatever reason seems pretty legit to me.
They're a little more civilized greenskins. Okay. More civilized.
Yeah, in other words, boring.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, that too. And then for the so the Marauders are also going to get their big giant thing is a Wolfcrawler Mech. So they're going to get a big ugly mech, and these larger ones are going to be resin kits because of the size. Okay. They're not going to be on sprues. And then the Veer-Myn are getting, with their ramshackle technology, they've got a lot of like drill machines and burrowers and stuff. So kind of like, stuff that made sense in Warhammer Fantasy, it translated into kind of sci-fi. So just popping up from under the ground and stuff. And they've got wonderful brood mothers and tangles of rats and stuff. And their kind of Titan is a super heavy, I guess. I think they call them super heavies, is a Technonest. So it looks like a big stacked tank from like Metal Slug, but it's like probably full of baby rats or something, spewing some Technonest at you. So those are all available for pre-order, coming soon, and hopefully we'll see them in digital forms as well, because they did a nice job. They're very, very printable and very easy to the basic units and support and everything are already available as STLs for the original 4 factions that were included.
As someone who didn't play Firefight, I was thinking about it. I wonder if the factions still feel the same in Epic Warpath.
I think during the playtest that there was a lot of input, like a lot of each phase of the playtest, people were, especially if they played those factions in the game, were like, no, it needs to be more like this. This isn't feeling right. So I remember reading in the Discord and things, seeing a lot of those messages. So they did get a lot of feedback from playtesters saying, yeah, this isn't playing. It should be more like this. Like I'm expecting this, and we need to play with those numbers because I'm not getting the results that my faction would usually feel like. But also too, when you're expanding it, when it's not reading as one model or a unit of 5 models, it's supposed to be like 50 guys on that little disc. It's it comes across different.
I also kind of wonder, like, it's all pretend, right? But does broadening out the scale of the battle, where you're dealing with like tanks and heavy support and stuff like that, does that kind of flatten the feel of the factions?
Oh yeah,
right, because like you said, Marauders got a tank.
Yeah,
would they have had one in Firefight? Would they just be big burly dudes?
Right. No, I think so. Yeah. I don't think it got to that scale, and that's what they had to do, is figure out because I think the Plague, they don't have big mechs, they have big mutated monsters. Well, they're big mutated monsters. So they had to decide like a different way, to go, and to also have those big war machines like feel huge. Like if you're playing a game that big, like have them be devastating. And so that's something that you'd be removing so many models from the table if you were playing it at 28mm.
Or is it I remember they don't play War Machine anymore, but when we were first kind of learning War Machine, we said, okay, well, this is a counter for that, and kind of like that's a counter for that. So like I'm wondering if not having a War Machine put one side at a disadvantage.
Oh, right. I wonder because I think the way that they points costed everything. Yeah, you're just gonna have something that everyone is shooting at every turn.
Well, maybe that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like,
right,
okay,
right, yeah.
like either you spend a lot of points on this big shooty thing that's going to counter the other big shooty thing,
Right.
or you have something that's everyone's just going to be shooting at and interesting. Okay, yeah, kind of want to see how that works.
Yeah, we will, and we can print it all. Yay!
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Can you also print out time for me to paint it?
Yes, I will try.
That would be amazing. What's this? Nothing. Time. Oh,
it's
all right.
beautiful. All right, but cool mini or not? Wow, does anybody even remember that's what CMON used to stand for? They are eyeing a return to crowdfunding, but it looks like it's a long way off because their annual losses from 2025 were almost $20 million.
Wow. Man, I wish I had $20 million to lose and still be like functional.
Yeah, so about 12 months ago, they pulled the plug on any crowdfunding or even new game development.
Okay.
And part of the, they're pointing fingers at that time, 145% tariffs on Chinese, imports.
Okay.
And so they had a loss of $3 million in 2024 when the nightmare kind of began for them, and they started falling behind and also selling off IPs. So they had an assessment. They had an auditor come in, and his opinion was, looking at all the annual losses and the meager income, these conditions indicate a material uncertainty which may cast significant doubt about the group's ability to continue as a going concern. But CMON's directors replied that the company should be able to continue as a growing concern thanks to a trio of factors. And one of those is not wasting any more money in crowdfunding again.
Okay.
But they claim that they still have significant working capital requirements. So what they did is they sold, I think it was the Singapore office, which was a huge piece of real estate. They've sold several IPs. And are just kind of focusing on completing, what and a lot of it was licensed stuff that's unfulfilled. So I don't know how that works because can't the license get pulled after a certain amount of angry customers and not being able to finish a project? Can't the licensee just say, okay, we're not doing this anymore? So that's a little scary because it's DC Comics, DC Superheroes, Dune, and Assassin's Creed are all stuff that they have undelivered. So yikes. But so they had a significant decline in revenue, and regionally too, they're taking big hits. So in North America and Europe, their revenue was down year after year, like over 80%. So this whole thing is going to be refocusing on more profitable, and unfortunately that looks like they're going to be focusing on Asia, which may be good for us, but because the tariff situation means we're not going to, it's the golden age of those board game Kickstarters with all that plastic that came in a coffin-sized box. It's over, and even those IPs. So they've sold off their most famous and profitable title, Zombicide. That IP was sold to Asmodee. Blood Rage, Rising Sun, and Ankh are sold to Tycoon Games. So if anything happens with those games, it's going to be a different distributor. And they did finally also let go of their lucrative Cthulhu Death May Die IP to Asmodee after that. So they've raised about $10 million from selling IPs. It's still a long way to go to balance stuff out. Wow. But yes, they are keeping a hold of their the most significant IP recently for them was Massive Darkness. They also created a 5e tie-in for it, so that looked like it was kind of a desperate way to make money. But it looks like in the near future they've scrapped crowdfunding and are focusing on, and this makes sense also for Asia as well, small box games direct to retail. What? Direct to retail? Okay. How do you know how many units are going to be ordered? But Collect, Peanuts Talent Show, Fairy Perfume, Rocket Punch, and Yokai Carnival are all a part of this new strategy. Okay. Yes. So, there's a quote from the company: "We remain committed to becoming a quality developer and publisher of tabletop games and believe the strategic refocus toward Asia and selective game development will position the group more substantially for the future."
I hope so.
Yeah. It's a shame. I mean, they really got caught. I mean, it was a combination of factors, but they really got caught on that treadmill of, I'm sure they were paying for 2 projects ago with funds that were being raised later. Yeah. Just and it hurt the piece that Kickstarter took out of it, hurt them. It was oh, we could use that extra $1 million, because these were multi-million dollar crowdfunders that they were making year after year.
Like you said, as soon as something happens where you miss the numbers on one, you're gonna like, all right, guess we're taking this chunk of that million we made to.
Yeah. And they really towards the end too, it was a lot of licensed IP stuff, because I think they were probably showing up to the trade shows, board game shows and everything, and just like courting everybody.
I'm sure they were, because
Otherwise Mantic would get them. But so we'll see what happens to CMON and how they come back. I think their days of being those giant boxes are over. We're going to see other companies associated with Asmodee and the Embracer Group probably still trying to do that. But I think as far as distribution and material costs and stuff, those days are getting leaner.
Bubble has burst.
Yes. All right. But the bubble hasn't burst for licensing, and especially irrevocable, royalty-free open game licenses, because Free League is expanding their tabletop license. So previously, I think they did the Morkborg license was the first one, and that was the kind of standard that they set. This is irrevocable, forever, and royalty free. So now they're adding their original systems and titles to it, which means it'll be Forbidden Lands, Coriolis, and Symborum. And they also did Dragonbane. Dragonbane was previously announced, but now like everything that they own that is theirs, they are including in this licensing system. So that means third-party creators can publish their own adventures and supplements, and never have to worry about paying a dime to anyone, and they're going to get that compatible with kind of ID that they can put on everything that they're doing.
I wonder is there any, did Free League do any kind of clause allowing them to like have stuff revoked or pulled or whatever? Because I know that kind of compatible with logo.
Yeah.
Like the other ones I've seen are, okay, you can kind of make stuff for our system, but this logo means you are in no way affiliated with us.
Right.
Like this is not official. You're just using it. But I think I've seen some other ones where like the stipulation is like you can't make anything that we would go, whoa, holy shit, what the f- are you doing, right?
Right.
Where I think they still retain like,
they may have
if your stuff
like some veto
proves
power
to be a problem.
Right. No, I bet that is probably something that would like tarnish their IP actually like put their company in kind of a weird light. I'm sure they have a say on we're not going to give you,
if you make the fatal
yeah.
of Dragonbane, right? We can like no book of erotic whatever for like nope. No.
Okay,
right?
well I'll stop doing that.
What do you mean? You were working on one too? So was I, right? I was working on the book of erotic fantasy for Forbidden Lands. No, I wasn't. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so I'm sure that they're with this licensing, royalty free, irrevocable, but there probably is an approval. They probably like give you a final like, okay, we took a look at it. There's nothing that we have a problem.
What do you think so? Because I imagine they would have to troll through a lot.
No,
the one I saw for not for Free League would like, if something like comes to our attention, maybe then we'll be like, no, sorry, gone.
I'll have to take a look at the actual verbiage of the license and see, because they have to protect themselves.
They do.
Otherwise people are just it can
going to be
silly.
Yeah, because that's what killed the whatever the 3E OGL, the Book of Erotic Fantasy, right? They're like, whoa, all right, this was a bad idea, right? Yeah. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, so hopefully this is good for the longevity and popularity of these games, and also the company creators and community, because everyone will have so much more stuff to play. So the statement from Free League today, we're happy to announce that we have expanded our third-party open game license program to cover our 5 original core RPGs: Dragonbane, Forbidden Lands, Symborum, Coriolis, both the Dark and Coriolis, the Third Horizon, they're kind of newer setting. And we are also adding support for a wide range of additional languages. With this update, you can publish third-party supplements for these games not only in English, but also French, German, Italian, Spanish, Polish, Portuguese, and more.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so that's great too. So that means like third parties in other countries that maybe there's a small community, but they have like people they want to make stuff for with these systems. Yeah.
Or it means you don't have to make it in a language that's not yours.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I'll put a link to that so you can read about that release, and then also take a look at that license. So the full license, and we'll see. Yeah, and then that'll say what exactly the process is and what they can still say nope to.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it might be different. I'd be curious. I'll have to go look too, because I doubt they approve everything that gets made, because that would just be a huge job.
Right.
I think it's more like this has come to our attention as being problematic. Let's look at it, and then no, sorry. take it off.
And Free League does a nice job, at least with what they've done the license with so far, of giving you templates and things so you can make your books, even if you're just writing them, at least look like something that matches their kind of their trade dressing for their other games. So yeah, it's not just a
PDF.
Like a Microsoft Word file. Right. Yes. All right, and finally, so this is something that is come out of the Free League's workshop. So this is their other their kind of not their license, but they're kind of like helping the smaller creators and game designers like get a boost up, getting the kind of like what Modifius did in the early days of publishing, helping to publish smaller creators RPGs. So Fomoria is a new folk horror game that Free League is working on, and the co-creator of Morkborg is also involved. So Fomoria is a world that doesn't want you. You carve your name into a stone, knowing the next tremor will reduce it to dust. You stand against horrors that should not be faced, knowing they will change you, unmake you. And yet you refuse to kneel to oblivion. You dare the darkness to swallow you whole, and when it does, the world will not remember you. This is a game of epic horror. So a D20 rollover system and kind of a folk horror setting. The designer is the award-winning Tanya Herrero of Crown of Salt and Menagerie of Unbearable Things, and Johan Noor is the co-creator of Morkborg, is doing the design and illustration and stuff. And it looks good from their quick start already. Cool. It looks beautiful, and you're playing as kind of animal folk. And so this is one of the few settings that's like kind of eldritch horror setting would be one of the few times I'm like, okay, I could do that. Most games were like, and you're a bunny. I'm like, okay. No.
Okay, we still haven't played it. There is a Powered by the Apocalypse version of The Warren.
Oh, right. Yes.
Or it's basically Watership Down.
Right.
And that's another one where like, okay, yeah, I feel you on that. I'm kind of past the Redwall-esque. You're like, because there's a lot of like problematic stuff about being all animals are always this thing, right? It's a bit uncomfortable, but like if you're playing like animals where human stuff is like, think about like the opening to Watership Down, like they're just these big giant yellow things just like tearing, and you're just like like it's basically like that is existential horror kind of thing, right? Okay, cool. So I could see if it's similar to that, I'll agree with you. I could see playing animal folk.
Yeah, so this is like anthropomorphic, like animal kin. So yeah, you live inside a subterranean world where things like the sun and stars are myth and legend. Instead, you navigate a network of tunnels and caves where monsters and worse await. So this is a world built of monsters and bones. So April 7th, this is coming to Kickstarter. Cool. And so basically it's built around so your animal kin or your clan, and basically your party is a cabal. So the cabal of people with similar aims, they all send someone from their clan to accomplish something. So you'll purge the filth of the Red Plague, or serve the whims of powerful alliances, or just hunt for the eldritch. Loyalty is a luxury and ambition a weapon. So it looks like it's got really fun writing, really nice visual presentation, of course, because of who's involved. Yeah, so this looks really fun, and it doesn't, it reads as grim dark or kind of dark fantasy, but also Lovecraftian, also eldritchy because of its strange unknown tentacly things. But it seems like it might be really fun to play, putting your head kind of in a different set than it's not just dwarves and elves and underground versions of the same, but it seems to be written really interestingly and really bleak. Of course, it's a very bleak and very kind of self-serving, as the text says. But so I'll put a link to that coming soon page, and take a look at that. So that's going to do it for this week. So where can people find you?
Instagram and Blue Sky until they roll out more AI slop there. But anyway, so it's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, where you'll see photos of burnt cookies, sparsely decorated square wafer biscuits, and which actually, no, they're actually model stuff, right? 2mm scale until I go back to Blackout eventually.
Yes.
So
nice.
How about you?
All right. So I almost streamed this week, but it didn't happen. I do a single panel gag cartoon that I do 2 a week, and it's been going on forever. So if you want to read that, gocomics.com/domestic abuse, and also check out rcharvey.com. We'll put the link in the description for if you want to read anything about cartooning history, comics and cartooning history. I edited the website for about 20 years, and there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Forever.
Yes. So, but if you like what we're doing here on the weekly, consider becoming a weekly.
The strongest of all supporters.
You do that at patreon.com/upturntable. Let us know what you want to see more of on the weekly. More or less industry news, more or less Kickstarters. What do you want to talk about? Daggerheart. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Daggerheart stuff coming up. Anyhow, yes. And so Upturn Table on all social media, and upturntable.com is our main website. Tomorrow we'll be playing, we'll go back to our old school essentials and be playing our next session of the Lost City, where they're starting to really get lost, and they're starting to wonder if there is a city.
Are they in a city?
Not yet.
Okay.
They lost it and they can't find it. All right. So thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll be back again next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. Oh, wait, let's do this one. There we go. And how about a microphone? There we are. Oh no, I just saw Arturo's comment. Yeah, that Kickstarter just went live. So everyone, we got to get $350 together, and we got to send it to Matt because we're going to force him to play 5e Traveler. He's going to look at that metal slipcase, and he's not going to be able to resist. Crazy. Yep, good to see everybody. Yeah, I didn't want to. I wasn't going to bother giving that any air. 5e Traveler, and it's so expensive. I don't know who they're going for. They're probably going for the people that like. I heard there is a game called Traveler, and well, I play 5e, but sci-fi would be cool. Yeah, that's crazy. Someone in Discord excited about 5e Traveler. But the price of the pledges for that is silly. So I wonder, they're definitely going for a I don't know if they're expecting this to really catch on. And then what the hell, if it does, then why are they even bothering to produce Exodus? There's no point in Wizards of the Coast, although Wizards of the Coast doesn't know, what they're doing anyhow. Yeah, I'm surprised too that CMON would even think about going back into crowdfunding. And I think, they lost so much just trying to fulfill those huge, when it started to become very impractical, and they should have, sized down the campaigns and like given people parts of games at a time to make sure they could do it. They still went all in because it was so much money. It was multi-million-dollar crowdfunders, like those cool cyberpunk trading card games that get 8 figures, several millions of dollars for whatever that is. I was really happy to see Free League expanding for all of their systems, so that because I think this will be a good sign for them to look at, maybe give a project more priority, like, oh, there's a ton of third-party stuff that's being produced for Coriolis, so let's give that game some more support or some more attention or whatever. But it's definitely and like Matt said, it was a light news week. There wasn't a lot going on, except for Traveler 5e. But yeah, there's a bunch of third-party stuff for Daggerheart. I think someone's doing a Daggerheart sci-fi, and it's very odd. But the one article that mentioned I don't think they wanted to specifically talk about Traveler 5e, but they wanted to say, how do you play sci-fi in D&D? And they listed several. There's actually a Star Wars, like an unofficial, but it's a website that has all of the rules and everything. There's a unofficial, unlicensed fan version of Star Wars 5e. So it's just the 5e rules, like made to fit Jedi and the Force and all the aliens and stuff. But I think it's it's not books, it's just like a website that is just structured like a rule book. But yeah, there's a bunch of that, and there's another 5e based kind of 80s, it's like something neon or whatever, and looks very like 80s dipped. Its coat of paint looks very 80s. Justice for Chup Chup. Yes. A Haggardart's extraction mission. Yes. Yeah, that's what we should do, is play a game and get the characters to escape to another game setting, so we can play them. We can get them to escape into BX. I set you guys up for Keep on the Borderlands if we ever went back to it, so we can include them in the OSC campaign. Have parallel OSC. Yeah, but someone is doing a third party sci-fi for Daggerheart as well, and they named it something stupid as well, as you would. But yeah, it's good to see everybody in the chat. Yeah, we're really restricted. Like, this is our only time that we can do this. I mean, this same time other days of the other weekdays, but yeah, we're restricted to this time. So when you guys have daylight savings and stuff, yeah, we just get an hour later or an hour earlier. Yeah. So that's no fun. So I hope we're good for Old School Essentials tomorrow. That'll be good to get back to it. And yeah, apologies if the people that are putting the comments are listening. Yeah, sorry, I fell behind with the playlist and getting everything kind of in order. And when we were switching between modules, I think I renumbered, so that got very confusing. People are like, what? So I'll do a playlist for each of the modules, and then I'll do a playlist for our whole Old School Essentials, however long it goes. So you can do it either way. Yeah, but I fell behind adding those things to the playlist, so it's yeah, probably frustrating, and hopefully they're not out of order. That's the other thing that I do. I'll add stuff and they'll be in the wrong order, which drives people crazy. So hopefully, yeah, we'll have an in-person game here sometime this month. Although, yeah, this month is getting busy, and next month is I might have to take some time off. God damn. Things never cease being shitty. But yeah. But and there's still so much stuff I want to do videos for. Because I have the Space 1999, the full rules for that RPG. We got to do some of that. Yeah, but we don't want to have two sci-fi games going, but I definitely would like to go back to that system. There's a lot of content there that'd be fun. Watch some old episodes and get inspired. Oh yeah, that was the weird thing. My mini factory is kind of doing it, and maybe this will take a bite out of the weird Etsy sellers, but they're going to let people do, if you've got a license to print and sell other people's 3D models to physically print them and ship them, they're going to have sellers now, like authorized sellers on the website. So it's going to get confusing because they have the onlygames.co that's doing, the third party, whatever that is, printing the physical stuff with not great QA. They need some better quality control. And now they're going to have individual sellers who knows what, that could be all over the place as far as what you get. So that might be a little bit confusing on their website now, because you've got to be so clear. And even like people that do just RPG rule books and stuff have to be careful with this. On the website, people need to know, am I buying a PDF? Am I buying a physical book? Because so many of those, Shopify and all these backends for online selling want your address and everything, want your physical address just when they're sending you a PDF. So that gets a little bit confusing. And when am I buying a book? I don't want a book. I'm trying to get the digital version. So they need to make sure, especially the smaller people, the bigger established publishers do okay with this, but they really need to be careful about letting people know exactly what they're buying, especially when they're doing sales and stuff, because a lot of the times, physical stuff, it doesn't get discounted that greatly, or, have the huge added expense of the shipping. So something is 75% off, and then you have to pay that 75% back into shipping is not a great deal. But yeah, so that's weird. I hope my mini factory can keep this kind of sorted, and it doesn't start, because it's going to hurt the reputation of the site if they've got a bunch of shady sellers that are just like running printing farms and in cheap countries with indentured servants and producing bad, very bad quality stuff. Yeah, the more I think about it too, that's kind of the last business, especially with the state of the technology now. It's the last business I'd want to go into, because people are so fussy. There's all the 3D printing forums and stuff, and everyone is like doing the macro lens photos of their prints and saying, well, I'm not getting good enough quality. I'm not getting good enough quality. So you'd really have to dial in, perfect quality for, a limited number of STL, digital sculptors, because, dialing in, a nice product from known, well sculpted 3D, because it might actually be the models that aren't great, that don't have great detail or look a little shaded, the digital files. So you're never going to get a great print of them. So yeah, and I couldn't imagine all the miserable. A lot of people probably just like, yeah, anything is fine, but there are going to be some real problem customers, I can imagine, with 3D printing, especially if they have any experience with it. Yeah, it's going to be, that won't be fun at all. But yeah, so I saw that notice and like, oh, that's a weird move on their part to now have. So they bought only dash games.co, and now they're going to let people compete with it on the website. Hopefully they're getting a big enough piece of that it's not going to hurt too bad. Oh yeah, and official Pathfinder miniatures are coming to Mining Manufactory too. Which is another thing. Now Pathfinder's competing with their pawns, their cardboard standees. They should have just stuck with that. What's wrong with cardboard? Yeah, I wonder what that motivation is. Okay. Only games. Nice. Well, we can stream. We'll stream definitely straight to OF as well. Yeah, I can. I ran into that way back in the day, and then something brought me back there, or like maybe there was like an email I got, like a spam or something for Table Topless. I forgot about that. I don't know. I don't know if it's still if it's still a thing, it's still going on, but like getting cam girls to play RPGs to get, I'm sure they're playing like Lamentations of the Flame Princess or whatever. I'm sure they're playing like sexy versions of role-playing games, but it's cam girls. So during their actual play live streams, they can pop off in, they can, go private if they get a customers. It's a little bit disruptive. I can't imagine being a game master for a game where one of the players is like, just a sec, I'll be right back. I have to do a show. Yeah, that's so funny. Nice. Arturo in a bikini. Oh, jacuzzi. Yeah, in a jacuzzi playing Minecraft. Only games. Nice. Yeah, we have to have a hot tub actual play session. It'll be green screen, but oh man. Arturo said, I once wanted to do a homebrew Call of Cthulhu campaign inspired by Quantum Leap and Eternal Darkness. Oh, wow. That could be really cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was something that I was just watching where I was like, can you do this in an RPG? I was watching a playthrough of Siren, is that PlayStation PS2 game? I think it's Forbidden Siren in some markets, maybe like in the UK, or just Siren, where it's like the rural Japanese village that like has disappeared. Like it's kind of based on those stories. So there's these the inhabitants of the village have kind of been cursed in this weird way. There's this weird red water, and parts of the village have disappeared. Some of the villagers still walking around. So they're like rural Japanese people, like dressed like farmers and stuff, just kind of stumbling around, kind of like zombies, but they're not technically zombies. But you get killed at the beginning of the game and are reincarnated by falling into this water, and then you can see through. So you all share this sight, so you can all see through their eyes. So I was just thinking about, wow, that would be, is there a way, or would that be interesting? And then what made me think of it is because Terry's character, Lytham, has a crystal ball. And so I'm trying to figure out how to be fun with the crystal ball and give the players information. And then I thought one step further, what about if, characters had that kind of sight? That might be something fun in like Sci World to do, because if you're all already psionic, that might be kind of fun. But, instead of doing something, because I think we've done stuff like that in Veer-Myn with dreams and stuff. So you present stuff in dreams or hallucinations where you're not seeing, you think you're seeing something that's not happening, but it might be fun. Like, no, wait, I'm seeing through somebody else's eyes. Yeah. It'd be funny how you could get the players to figure that out. But yeah, fun stuff. Yes. Sci World. Yes, Galarian is open for some Sci World. We got to get that going. Yeah, Yeah, I've got to just build. I got to pick a VTT and just build the character sheet, and then we're fine because I think I'll have enough materials and stuff that to play with, because they give you enough kind of generic maps and stuff that we can have a nice like old school looking session. But yeah. Oh, that would be great. Yeah. Somebody looking back at life. Oh, Matt, don't tell Terry. Don't tell Terry. That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Especially because how you found it, you have no idea its origin or anything. Yes. I see you. Nice. Yeah, so that'll be fun to get back to the lost city. See if it ever gets found. Oh yeah. Temple of Elemental Evil. Yeah, they've got a lot of retro. I like that there's when Wizards did that collector's version of the white box, they commissioned some artists, I think just comic book artists, to redo the art for them, because I think a lot of it, the old school stuff, was just traced comic book art, and they didn't want any trouble with Disney, Marvel, or whatever for tracing their art. So they recommissioned art, and they've got a whole series of T-shirts, like each of the art from those books. So I've been seeing those pop up, and yeah, just grabbing some random old school swag. Yeah, that's cool. That's a really good idea, Matt. Yeah, very cool. But yeah, I wonder. So hopefully, yeah, we'll get back to our usual schedule of a Star Frontiers and old school essentials. Oh no. Matt must choose 2 doors. Behind one of them is exit. The other's Traveler 5e Traveler. It's ugly. It's an ugly, ugly world. Yeah, I think it would just be nice if and I think both, for wargaming, like 40K, and for tabletop fantasy 5th edition, if they were a little bit less of a quagmire, so they would still be a gateway into the hobby, but you would like outgrow them. I think it's like probably the responsibility of the smaller publishers and stuff to really come up with some really tempting presentations and really make it really easy to just change boats midstream. Because there's not, I don't think anything, because it's always been like that. It's been like that forever, that D&D was the household name. But if people could get out of it easier, and I think that's the thing that they did well with 5th edition, is just created there is only 5e. It's one D&D, and it is the one and the only, the true tabletop RPG. But if it was just easier to, because it's that, what sunken cost fallacy. I think people are like, I'm doing 5e. Everyone around me is doing 5e. You're not going to spend the effort or the expense of buying, new books or new materials or whatever it would take, new subscriptions, to get into something else. But yeah, that would be nice. And I think definitely 40K, although it does, kind of spit you out on the other side. Like every edition change just like must flush a whole percentage, and they know exactly what this number is, but every new edition, I'm sure 40K risks just losing people like, oh fuck this, like they know how, so they probably choose to focus on the factions of they know the player numbers are the least and they can reset, and maybe they'll try to come in with another army or something. But I'm sure they're looking at numbers and just deciding what order the codices are released in and all of that fucking nonsense. But yeah, it just But just to get so sunk in that like first original game and never make it out to see what else is out there is crazy. But I think too that, you know, the lack of motivation with a lot of the younger players and stuff, it's familiar, it's whatever. And you'll, before you look for another game, you'll stop playing tabletop. It's probably what happens. But then when you hit 30, you'll go back, you'll seek that comfort. Yeah, who knows? Oh yeah, and I think something I might have misspoken. We were talking about War Machine digital stuff. Oh yeah, that's right, because they're having that whole frontier thing where they had the 3 armies. Already they've stated specifically that anything that they produce digitally will never be a physical kit. Like they did some alternative sculpts for some of the warcasters and kind of models that came in some of their plastic, or I guess their resin releases, or Cycast, whatever they're doing in their boxes. They are not they're never going to cross those 2 streams. So stuff that you see digitally offered, it's playable with the modern rules, but they're never going to cross over. They'll do kind of like what Mantic was doing, like replacement, you know, options for arms and heads and stuff, so you can get some variety in the miniatures, and those can be 3D. But as far as like those kits, if they're going to spend whatever to release, and I think the way they have them structured, because they have their starter and then they have their support and they have their expanded support. So each army's got about like $300 or $350 of miniatures that they physically produce for them, and that's everything for the army, and then there's a little bit of digital support. So yeah, they specifically said, and I think this was at Adepticon too, where they re-emphasized that these things are never going to cross. There'll be some, you know, maybe some mercenary models or some solos that can move back and forth. Some may be digital, some may be physical, but as far as factions and things, they're not going to ever overlap. So don't wait for things to become digital or wait for things to become physical, because those models are stuck in. And I think maybe that was a little confusing at the beginning, because I think they were producing, before they did their digital subscription, they did produce boxes of some of those models that were the first ones that were kind of the welcome pack or whatever for their digital subscription. So I think they did kind of screw that up, because I was looking at the Crucible Guard on my mini factory for War Machine, and there's some great models in there, and that's all only digital. And if you subscribe to their thing, it's 50% off. So everything is really cheap to get into. So it takes a $300 army, and if you buy everything, that's $150. So you know, digitally. And I don't think it's even that. I think the digital prices are a little bit cheaper, but they're doing the same kind of structured releases, both for digital and physical. That's pretty cool. That's cool. And I wonder if they'll do licenses too for printing, you know, so that like sellers of physical printed minis will have stuff. But yeah, I was happy to see that. So that's why I think they made a mistake kind of not offering their people that have been subscribed to them for a while. They probably just weren't sure what exactly to do, but they didn't do anything enticing to make me even look twice at that frontier, because I was getting nothing for much cheaper than I'm going to be able to get when it's actually on the store. So that was weird. That was it's like, you're not getting not even anything. There's nothing, no incentive to do this if you're already a subscriber, because it's only like marginally, the price went up very little. If you just waited, and then you don't have to buy everything all at once. You can buy things piecemeal. So yeah, that was a little bit odd. I don't think they thought that one through, or just because they don't cross streams and stuff, there was nothing that they could do to offer you something beyond what was already out there. Yikes. Nature is healing. Nice. Oh, see, Starfleet Academy viewer numbers. Red Letter Media brought it up in their new video. 400,000 over the whole season. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, obviously, because we know some fans, there should be, and I don't know if it should be the only option, but there should be I don't know. I don't know if this is okay to say on YouTube or whatever, but there should be queer Trek. Like there should be, and because I think that's what Starfleet Academy was. It was queers, Zoomer queer Trek, and I think that should be a thing, but it shouldn't be the only thing, and they should still have the main series that feels like Star Trek, but also, like with the lower decks and stuff, like, experiment and see where the audience goes. But to just have like alternative Trek be the main Trek was weird, and to make it be like a Harry Potter kind of thing, they really made Starfleet Academy felt like a really bad, Harry Potter inspired fan fiction using the Star Trek setting. So yeah, that's weird. And I wonder, I mean, the motivation is to get a new audience, to build a new audience, and I think that's, been because ever since they let J.J. Abrams make Star Trek movies, I think that's been the thing, is just like update it so that it doesn't, so somebody like just coming into it completely knowing nothing can at least, sit there and, wow, big explosion. But I don't know. It's funny. And it's weird. Because when you watch especially the Red Letter Media stuff where they talk about all the Star Trek movies, I mean, I'm not as intense of a fan to have like really passionate opinions about it, but they really had a difficulty, like, once the Next Generation finished, like what to do with that, like handing off the film franchise from the original series to the Next Generation actors and stuff. I don't think they handled that really well. And there would have been stuff to do to really, just decide, okay, this is how we're going to do things. And we're going to start another series, and it's going to form things. And then we're going to shift that into a movie franchise. And yeah, I think there was better ways to do that, but who knows? Yes, it does have an audience. Yes. And that, yeah, it does have an audience, but I don't think it's enough to, but it, I think Terry's got an interesting crossover because I think he's old school, Star Trek fan. So, convention, like Doctor Who, Star Trek convention level fan. But I don't think that's, that's just like serving only the original series fandom. It's hard. But yeah, I wonder what they were thinking with not making any of those series something that anyone that loved Star Trek could enjoy. That was a very interesting choice. Yeah. Abyss is saying the Paramount buyout will bring back the Enterprise era, and it will be all Americans and their freedoms. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I wonder what is going to happen. With Paramount now having Warner Brothers and everything. It's going to be weird. I wonder what the next step is. It may be something like Star Wars. Let's just take a breath, step back, because they did churn out exactly like what Disney did with Star Wars and Marvel, is just spew crap into their streaming platform that was expensive but crap quality. Like the people involved shouldn't have been involved. And I think that happened with Star Trek too, is they just spewed out how many series. I mean, there was so many Star Trek series that came out in such a more than ever more Star Trek than there's ever been came out in such a small amount of time. I think they did the same thing. They just diluted the market. So hopefully they'll just step back, take a break, make people miss it, and then reset, have somebody with a good idea come back, make Star Trek gay again. I mean, I guess though that's true. There's always been, because isn't like slash fiction, like the first slash fiction, the first, erotic fan fiction was Kirk and Spock. Like that's like, they're the prototype of all the nightmare world we live in now, where fan fiction writers and Tumblr folks are running entertainment, or at least are stupid enough to get not paid well in entertainment. Ugh. But I don't know. It's a funny thing. I don't know. These decisions, I think executives see these as noble decisions that they're making. and the accountants are screaming and crying. What are you doing? Yeah, it's very interesting. where they tried to go with that, and they were experimenting, but it was kind of all experimenting in the same direction. And I think the problem is it's just like people in their 40s and 50s and maybe some writers in their 30s trying to write for Zoomers, like trying to write for 20s and younger, and they have no idea. And maybe that's always been the case, but it's worse than ever. I think like the generation gap, because they're writing for them in a medium that they're not even watching, they're not even paying attention to. Like they just need to get Star Trek into the doom scroll. They probably see more Star Trek cosplay and like random stuff than they ever would a show. So just make 3-minute episodes of Star Trek and get it into Instagram and TikTok. It'll be good. Last week tonight with John Oliver is in danger. Oh no. Oh yeah, HBO is part of that deal. That's right. Fuller, what are you saying? Yes, Dark Eden, if you're referring to the Mutant Chronicles setting. Yeah, that would be, they come back to Earth and they find out, Dark Eden is not so dark. It's more kind of like a hot pink and blue neon. Yeah, is that what happened when when the corporations finally come back to Earth? Yeah, well, I think that's what some people really hated, the White Star, like what they tried to do by creating like a dominant faction and saying, oh, all the tribes of tribes of Dark Eden, tribes of Old Earth. Oh yeah, whatever. They're around somewhere. But check it out, we got Russians now, and one of them looks like my wife. Yeah, but I think yeah, that's the thing. There'll be some relief, as we'll never have to see what Paramount would do with a Mutant Chronicles series. Yeah, I saw so Heroic Signatures, I think that Swedish company that owns all the rights to, in Europe at least, with Conan, like all the Robert E. Howard stuff, and then Mutant Chronicles, and I think Mutant Year Zero. There's a bunch of stuff that they have rights to as far as like settings, and they have like merch shops. They'll do like t-shirts. It's like a real half-assed attempt. They like do t-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff. But it's interesting to see that and I guess that does then also reinforce, we own this IP. But I wonder if anybody will ever, if it'll ever happen again, where they make some project, and maybe just like a couple $1 million project with a lot of green screen, just like the first one was, another attempt at telling that Mutant Chronicles story, or at least like the exodus from Old Earth. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be so cool. Dark Eden could be fabulous, but yeah, we got to play. Okay, that's definitely, if, oh man, because I've already run that, so I know that in it's 2d20, so I think everybody could get into it pretty quick. But I really want to run some of that, the Modifius Mutant Chronicles RPG, because there's some really fun stuff in there that we didn't get a chance to mess around with, and I might want to look at what they did with Star Trek and stuff, and see if there's a way to get away from the D6s. But yeah, I'm sure it could use an update. I'm sure, because the early versions of 2d20 are kind of rough. But yeah, that could be really cool. I'd love to have a reason. Oh, but there is also Luna City Blues, I think, coming out sometime soon. I think it's getting closer. Like I'm seeing they've got a Facebook group, I think, or posting on Instagram that's showing that's getting closer. So we'll have something Mutant Chronicles to play. But yeah, that would be good. We got a queue. We got this long queue of dream campaigns. Yeah, good to see you, Fuller too. Man. Yeah, so we'll have to see. Oh, yeah, and I think hopefully the old school essentials stuff we can just keep coming back to. Like, it wouldn't be too hard to leave and come back, especially especially with the amount of player casualty, character death. I'm sure some of the players are like, okay, I really like that character, and now I'm not so into this anymore. So we'll have some good stopping points where where we can switch gears. We'll have to see. Yeah, it's really hurting. Doing the actual plays and stuff is really hurting my enthusiasm for, like, collecting and reading new stuff, because it's starting to become so insurmountable, just like people's like gray pile of shame where they're just like, I'm never even going to get those painted. Why would I buy new kits? And they still do buy new kits, but my enthusiasm for new games and stuff is starting to slow down. It's like, oh, I'll get the PDF, because it's like, I'm never going to get this. And especially because the main group is online. It's like the PDF is enough, because I'm never going to roll these custom dice, or I'm never going to, do anything with all these cool, handouts and physical materials and stuff. Yeah, because I've got the Blade Runner Replicant Rebellion stuff is coming, and it's got a bunch of asset packs and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, well, I can use the digital version of those, but all the cool photos and stuff are gonna not get used. Yeah, I gotta find that sweet spot where there's the gamers that haven't gotten married yet. Or maybe the divorced. Maybe I gotta look for divorced gamers. I don't think that happens in Japan, but yeah, gotta look for a bunch of people that only have every other weekend family obligations. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, in-person stuff is really, really hard. I think even the kind of organized group, like the main big organized group, doesn't even do it that often, like once a month. Yeah, that's silly. That's silly. But says, I stopped buying and backing games because I realized I never be able to play them. Yes. There's still suspiciously shrink wrap on some of the stuff on this shelf behind me. So yeah, I can feel that very much. And yeah, so, and I know, because now my head is like thinking the group, that's playing, that we placed together now. It's like, I'm thinking, oh, this would be fun for them. So there's stuff that I used to think would be fun for the in-person group in Japan, and most of them went home. So yeah, it's not easy to get excited about stuff. Yes, it is a nightmare setting, and they did a really good job. The Modifius did a really good job of like bringing you into the nightmare. Like, it starts out fine, Abyss. You won't notice a difference. You're just gonna have a happy job on the moon as a freelancer. It's going to be a great day. You have a cool car, you probably have a girlfriend, you're going to have a cool gun. It's going to be great, and nothing could possibly go wrong, and everything is super computerized. It's awesome. There's thinking machines everywhere, and nothing would ever happen badly in that setting. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, but I meant modify for a modern audience. Yeah, kind of glad Mutant Chronicles of Wheelers Popular didn't receive that treatment. Yeah, right. Because we're definitely going to see that with 40K. And I couldn't believe Fuller, did you see the April Fool's joke that Games Workshop did, where they released a trailer, and it looks like it's all AI, but they did a trailer of a 40K musical. They had, some kind of Broadway show tunes style, like Slay the Xenos, kind of ha 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 funny lyrics. And a couple of the comments, I think it was on like YouTube comments and then Reddit, both were like, people are like, is this real? I don't want this. I'm not going to give them my money if this is what they're going to do. Like, people were actually like thinking, but I think because of the recent, modern audience, kind of attraction that Games Workshop is doing, I think for some people it's like, no, it's not insane that they would actually do this, do a 40K the musical. Yeah, I think we're definitely lucky that Mutant Chronicles will never get never get molested in that way, or that idea will be over before People find it again. Yeah. The but that was so silly, and the fact that I don't know, I didn't, I just like watched it once, like just in a little window, but I think they just did an AI thing. I don't know if they actually got people together with they could have gotten some cosplay people from some of the conventions or whatever to lend them costumes, but I think it looked kind of AI based. But yeah, that's like, don't joke about that, because we know that that's not that far away. It's like it hurts. It feels a little bit too possible that because once Amazon is promoting, once you see 40K content and series and stuff all over Amazon, yeah, it's gonna get weird. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I wonder if anybody, because all we've got right now is Warzone Eternal, and then that indie RPG for the Luna City stuff that's coming out. So yeah, but some more Mutant Chronicles stuff would be good. Yeah, but that's definitely something that would be really fun to play. It's a huge their campaign, the 3 kind of campaign books that they did were good, and they'd be fun. I mean, there might be stuff we skip and stuff, but they did a really nice job of I think they liked the setting and structured the adventures to work well. And even because I was looking at that, looking at the old RPG books, and it's basically basic role play. It's basically D100 BRP would be even fun to do. Just do a modified version of that to not deal with the jankiness of early 2D20. But then again, we want to have as much like storytelling stuff, because there's some really fun storytelling stuff as stuff goes to shit. It's really and I wonder, I can't remember, they must have some sort of like like in Call of Cthulhu or whatever. I can't believe what I'm seeing, like kind of dark influence mechanics, because you start seeing some fucked up shit, and you may not be ready for it, or maybe your corporation knew all along. Yeah, but it'd be cool. Yes, no fabulous Dark Eden series, please. Yeah, that's right. And we're getting HBO's doing Harry Potter. All right. Nothing could go wrong with that. Yeah. But yeah, it should be cool. Should be good. And yeah, glad to see everybody showing up for the weekly. So yeah, please come back tomorrow if you want some old school goodness, and we'll be crawling around a pyramid. Oh, did you see that? I think this has been kind of a thing they've been pushing, and the Egyptian government has never like really allowed people to find out anything, but they're pretty sure, and this is just a YouTube thing that popped up, but they're pretty sure there is another Sphinx like buried in the desert. There's another like a mirrored version of some of the buildings and structures, and they've done some, they just recently did some kind of new type of scanning and whatever, but there's a lot of like basically sandstone or heavily compacted sand on these sites, but there still is stuff that there's still stuff to dig up in Egypt, but it may never happen. But that was cool. That made me because they were showing the potential, like what could be down there, and it's like, oh yeah, a lost city just like before. Nice. Okay, I can see Golgotha played by the chick from Wicked. She could, and especially if it's a musical, she could belt out a pretty sweet ballad about the dark influence. Yeah. Yeah, with the illustrator that did those, I'm totally blanking on his name. Yeah, she could totally pull that off if her mental state would allow it. She seemed pretty fragile. Okay, now I can't get that out of my head. And you know how quickly AI could make that Fuller. Jeez. All right. But yeah, so let's call it for this week. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much to all the members and patrons for making all this possible. We'll be back with some actual play back in the magical world of Roll20 and do some more old school essentials. And I'll work on, but before then, I'll work on the playlist and get them all in order and lined up, and then post those links for the playlists in the description for that live stream. And yeah, so I hope to see everybody soon, and we'll get back to some classic BX adventures tomorrow. So take care, everybody, and see you then. Goodbye.